just me and my guitar.
Mark here from Aquatics. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a little jellyfish for your kids' tanks. I've done this for people before and they're quite effective little guys and they're good fun to make. What you need is some of this closed cell foam like I've got here, which I've taken bits off before. Alright, and you can either use scissors or you can cheat and have a glass cutter like I've got there. And just put that on there like that, hold it tight. And then you get a nice little core comes out like that. And you need a couple of those. I've cut one already here. So now you've got two bits of sponge. Then we need a hot glue gun. And we need to just place a bit on there. And then stick one on top of the other like that. These are very quick and simple to do. So once it's stuck together, mould it around, and then you just got to really get your scissors and just start shaping how you want it to look. Each jellyfish are dome shaped. Let me move my coffee a minute. I've got the wind blowing through the workshop today. It's a beautiful day. So the wind is just whistling through here. But it's going to blow these little bits all in my coffee and I'll be swallowing them in a minute and choking. No good. Right. Keep going round like this until you get a shape that you're happy with. I've made these, like I said, for people before, and for their little tanks, just for younger kids really that want something to look at in the evening, but you know they're a bit too young and they're not going to really look after it, and you'll end up looking after it like we all do with our pets that we get for our kids. They've got to have these things, and then when they get them they get bored, and then they end up then you end up buying everything for them, looking after them and making sure they're okay. Now you got a little dome shape like that now, see? Now what you've got to do is you've got to get yourself a little cocktail stick like that. Not a cocktail stick, this is a kebab skewer. And all you want to do is just press it, give it a twist and push it into this foam. And so you end up with it like that on the top, like a little mushroom, see? Then comes the bit with the glue gun. As always guys, do this with your mum and dad if you're young, because as you know they're very hot, these things. But what you need to do now is you need to go up underneath like that, put a blob of glue on there and then slowly stretch it out and let it hang vertical. Go very slow. Don't worry about if it bags up like that, because it will soon dry. That's a bit better, it's in focus now. Because it will soon cure, see? And then you just keep going around. Another blob. Twist it around until you get another one like that. Alright, you've got the gist of what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to do this and I'll get back to you when I've done them all, alright? Alright, okay guys, that's what we've got there now. We've done all the strands, you see, and we're starting to resemble a jello. The old jello fish. And what we've got to do now is we've got to cover the top. Now, this is the finicky part. This bit's quite easy. What I was going to say before, guys, I've been doing stuff like this for a long time and I'm pretty aware of what's going on, and I could be wearing a glove, because if this glue drips on my hands it's going to give me a right burn. But if you're not familiar with these things and guns and glue guns and all this sort of stuff, make sure you wear a glove, okay guys, because if you get it on your hands it's going to give you a bit of a sting, and you could do without that. Alright guys, and when we've got to that stage, I put all the legs on, all the tentacles, and that's gone and dried. Now we've got to put some glue all over the top. Okay, now what I've got here, I've got some of these old plastic fishing floats of mine which I've had kicking around for years, which I bought, and they got this glowy paint on them, see, and I've just scraped that off and put it onto a plate. So what we're going to do, we're going to start to cover this in the hot glue. We want to put a little layer on first, and just put it on thin, don't put it on so thick, otherwise it's going to try and melt the foam. So just put a thin coat on, and then really we want to get that dry first. But now that's like that, you can get some of these paint sprinklies. And sprinkle them all over, and they'll stick to the glue. Because it's only a thin coat, then you can just sort of tap it down. And now you want to let that cool now, just like that, and it just gives a nice little glow to them all. And you leave it on there for a minute, let that cool. I'll get back to you when it's cool and we'll put another coat on the top. I'm sorry it's not focusing, it's trying to focus on everything apart from this at the moment, because it's, there you go, that's a bit better. Right, I'll get back to you in a minute, okay? Right guys, we'll put another coat on now. And then when it's done, you've got that nice cap there. See, it's shiny, but you're going to have to keep turning it because it's going to retain that heat. Okay, so keep turning it around like that, and it'll cool slowly. Probably best to go out in the wind, and you can see the way it forms that other cap on the top there like that, and gives it that shiny look that we're after. And it's sealed all those little bits of colour inside the cap, you see. I've made these for a few of my friends' kids. They've put them in their aquariums. And the thing is, what you do afterwards, when you take the stick out, when this is dry, we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut all around the tentacles there, and then we're going to pop that stick out. And then what you do is, you underneath the cap, you've got get the hot glue gun again, and you just put in another blob underneath, and you put some catgut in there, some very fine clear stuff, maybe 1 or 2 pound fishing line, which you can get from any tackle shop or offline, and tie it to a little stone, and you can have it in the aquariums then, and they blow around lovely in the aquarium, in the pumps. Guys, it's all gone off now, nice and solid. Now all you got to do, you just run your scissors around here, freeing all the tentacles off, take the stick out, and you got a nice little hot glue gun jellyfish there. Now what I'm going to do, just to show you, I'll put that there a minute, I'll grab a bit of catgut, and I'll just reverse this. So instead of being in the tank, I'm just going to hang it up for a minute. So if we do that, get our bit of catgut, stick that in there. Now you don't have to, sorry I was out of frame there sticking it on, but you just put a blob of glue on there, put a bit of catgut in there, let that cool off. Now you haven't got to put these in a tank, guys. You can hang them up anywhere, like in your kids' bedrooms or anything like that, but they make great little jellies, and once those tentacles go off, they're nice and rubbery and they don't break easy. You make them as long as you want, it's up to you. And then when they're on the catgut, you get that floating around, the old jellyfish floating around in the tank. What I'll do now is I'll just hang it up. Just hang it up a minute for you. There you go, guys. There's 3 little jellyfish there I've made. I made a couple earlier on, just made that one there as well, and so we got 3 up there now, and they look pretty good. And you can put them in your kids' tanks, and they look absolutely fabulous. You get a little if you put a dark background in there. The thing with these glow lamps is, the thing with these glue sticks, I'll turn the light off a minute so it's a bit old dark. As you can see, when you turn on a UV light now, boom, they all glow. So you can imagine in your tank glowing around like that with a little black light on, little UV light going in your kids' tanks. You've got all the different colours there which will glow up. If I can get a better view from the top, they glow so much you can't really see. I mean, all the little colours which we've melted into the heads of these are really popping out where I can see them. The camera's not really picking it up as much, as you can't really see what I can see, but they look absolutely fantastic when they're blowing around. And you can make all sorts out of these, guys. It's limitless. You make whatever you like. It's your imagination. I've made them for people before, like I said, and their kids absolutely love them. You can hang them up on their ceilings in the bedrooms. You can have like a black light bulb you can buy, which you'll just plug into a lamp next to their bed. So when they turn that little black light on at night, their whole little room will light up with all these different little creatures and things that you can make and hang on, and they can waft things around and have them all moving. If their windows are open slightly in the summer, they'll all go around. That'll soon send them off to sleep. But it's good fun. I've made them for people, like I say, and their kids love them. So give that one a whirl. Not everyone knows that these glue sticks have got these UV properties, where they pick up on the UV light. And I will tell you one more thing now. I'll turn this off now, and you'll take it away, and we'll put the main shed lamp back on. Now here's the torch I'm using. It's only a little ultra fire. That's the name of it there. That's the serial number if you want to get one of these. But another amazing thing with these, right, if you're into your corals fluoresce under UV light. If you don't keep corals, you weren't aware of that, they do. They glow up. They're like little light bulbs. You wouldn't believe it. A living coral will glow up just like they do when that light hits that. You see how bright that is? But you get blues, greens, reds, oranges, some stunning colours. And I used to breed coral, frag coral, so I was always on the lookout around the shops, and I always used to take my little torch here with me, because when you go up to the frag tanks, you see all the big corals there, and they may be £100 or whatever for a nice colony, but then you always get the little frag tanks, and they're the ones which you see on the little plugs. If you go into those tanks, or any of the corals to be honest, but I was concentrating on the frags, and I'd go around the tank with my little torch, because under the normal lights like this you don't really see much in the day. They might look a little bit dull or whatever, but as soon as you put that light on them, bang, they'll pop out, and you'll get some amazing colours pop out. Something that looks really dull in the day can look absolutely stunning under the actinic blue lights in your marine systems of a night time. So always get one of these little torches. They're only I'd say what, £10 I reckon I paid for that, or less. And just take it, chuck it in your pocket when you go visiting your shops. People might wonder what you're up to, shining lights in their tanks, but if they ask you, just tell them what it is. But if I've done it for years, and I found some real little gems amongst the coral world, little acan corals, different ones, something that doesn't look much to look at, and then suddenly you put these little ultraviolet lights on them, and it's a whole different effect. It's just like you see all these paints and different things that you get in nightclubs, that you can put on face paints, all that sort of stuff. That's how corals glow under the sea at night, and it's under the moonlights is when it glows. If you saw it for real, you wouldn't believe it. They actually do it, but they fluoresce at amazing colours in the evening time. Anyway, guys, I hope you can give this little project a go. Be careful with the hot glue as usual, and make sure if you're a younger viewer, you get an older person to help you out. All right, guys. Anyway, I love you all, your stars, and I'll see you on the next edition of Mark's Aquatics. Be safe. Bye for now.
Just me and my guitar.